You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
In this episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast, I'm going to share with you things that you must know before you hire a stage hypnotist. And also, as usual, I'm going to be giving away a free hypnosis guide. We'll be right back.
Can I try it really quick?
Get ready for the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright, originating from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. He has hypnotized thousands of people from all over the United States. David R. Wright has been featured on news outlets all across the country and is the clinical director of an outpatient mental health and hypnosis clinic located just south of Detroit, where he helps people daily using the power of hypnosis. Welcome, the Motor City Hypnotist, David R. Wright.
What is going on, people? This is David Wright, the Motor City Hypnotist, back with another episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast. Here we are.
You're back.
Yep, Podcast Detroit, Northville Studios, as usual.
It's starting to roll off the tongue.
It is. Yes. It comes out pretty easy now. Matt Fox is with me as always.
Happy to be here, man.
Absolutely. So you can find me, my website, motorcityhypnotist.com. All the podcast episodes are posted there, as well as my store, which you can find all sorts of other good things. Hypnosis MP3 recordings, ebooks, a lot of other good stuff. So check that out. You can find me on social media, on Facebook, Motor City Hypnotist, YouTube, Motor City Hypnotist, on Twitter, at Motor City Hypno, and also on Instagram, Motor City Hypno. And if you would like to contribute financially to the show, which I would really appreciate, you can also find me on Patreon at Motor City Hypnotist. The links to all those things will be in the show notes and also on my YouTube channel and also on social media if you look me up there. So yeah, and if you happen to become a donor on Patreon, you can get lots of cool stuff. We have a coffee mug here for the show to all the cameras. Mm-hmm. And T-shirts, and again, early access to episodes as far as audio and also video. So yeah, I would appreciate that. Take a look at Patreon and see if you might like to help us on a small monthly donation basis. I would greatly appreciate that. And as usual, every episode, I'm giving away a free hypnosis guide. And that link will be in the show notes and also on YouTube and my other social media as well. And the other one last request is just please subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever it is. Subscribe and leave a review because I want to know how we're doing. Leave me a review. Let me know what you think. If you have ideas for future shows, that's something I would definitely look at, and we can plug that in. And also, please join me each week as I co-host the Psyched by MG podcast. And we will be on actually about 45 minutes from now. So if you want to stick around on Facebook Live, we'll be right there.
Awesome.
Cool. This episode of the Motor City Hypnotist Podcast is brought to you by Banner Season. Online marketing is saturated and people rarely open their emails. Are you in sales or does your business market to customers? How do you connect with family, friends, and clients? Banner Season takes your marketing into the real world by delivering kindness and thoughtfulness directly to your clients physically. Imagine the excitement of your family, friends, and customers as they receive personalized cards and gifts in their mailboxes. Go to bannerseason.com/fantastic and begin today to express kindness and make connections with others. And just a disclaimer, I am an affiliate for that. So if you click through, doesn't affect your price at all, but I do get a little bit from that. So I would appreciate taking a look at that. It's really cool. It's a cool program. And a good way to connect with people on a personal level. So yeah, thank you for that. Take a look.
Awesome.
Guess what time it is, Matt?
Oh, I feel like a loser until I hear this.
Here we go.
That's how winning is done.
It is winner of the week time. not necessarily our favorite time of the podcast, but one that we look forward to quite often.
You know why I feel like a winner right now?
Why is that?
That's why.
Oh,
It's Werner's.
I was just going to say, those people who are listening, that was not a beer. It is a Werner's.
It's Werner's.
Although there could be a beer. That's okay, too. That's the refreshing snap of Werner's. Now, though, since I'm advertising for them, let's see what they do.
All right.
Yeah. Probably nothing, I'm sure. So our winner of the week, this is kind of offbeat a little bit, but so disclaimer, I dabble in guitar. I've been taking lessons for about a year.
I've just learned something about you.
Or a year and a half. I can play a couple basic songs. You know, I can get through Day Tripper pretty cleanly.
Freebird?
No. Well, maybe not the solo. Okay. I might be able to get through some of the verses or chorus, but
Stairway.
Yeah, it's not done. There's certain things, for some reason, that this is no slam. I love the Beatles, but a lot of their stuff is fairly easy to play.
There's what, 3 or 4 basic chords for just about every song out there.
And even the solos in George Harrison's early career were fairly basic. I mean, he wasn't doing any Eddie Van Halen tapping or anything.
No.
Yeah. But so my winner of the week this week is a woman by the name of Sophie Lloyd. Now, you probably have never heard of her. She has a YouTube channel, and I do a lot of again, since I'm playing guitar or attempting to play guitar, I watch a lot of YouTube videos as far as like I just check out channels of people who do lessons or people who have their own, covers of songs and things like that. So I enjoy just watching. The only problem is
what's that?
It makes me just want to throw my guitar away.
Stop it.
That's how I feel about my golf clubs. But all right.
Yeah, the same way. When I go and watch some of these videos, I just pretty much feel like,
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I just don't feel competent at all. But it does give me some motivation, because it's like, wow, that's really exciting. That'd be great to learn that. So anyway, Sophie Lloyd is I'm going to guess at her age. She's probably in her 20s. And if you want to do a quick look, Matt, it's Sophie, Sophie Lloyd, Lloyd on YouTube.
Yep.
A very attractive woman, let's say.
Okay.
And she can play guitar. She does shred versions, cover versions of famous rock and roll songs. And
Sophie guitar player, Sophie Lloyd.
Sophie Lloyd, yeah. Take a look at that.
Okay. Yeah, I can see why you would say she's attractive.
Yeah, very, and I'm not being a creeper or anything.
No. But she does, Boston to Hosier.
Right. So I'm just gonna give you just a 10, 12 second taste of this, because I don't think we'll get hit with a copyright, because it's a cover.
Okay.
So, but this is Sophie Lloyd on one of her YouTube videos.
Okay.
Playing a little Boston cover.
That's go, girl. That's actually really well done.
Yeah, very well, very smooth, and she takes these covers and just makes them her own, which is kind of cool, because most people on YouTube, most guitars, they'll try to play it note for note, which is cool. I would love to be able to do that, but she just does her own. The
scale that she did, I was going to say a different word, but I retracted my thought. But the scale that she did, that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was like kind of her making it her own almost. Right?
Yeah. And if you watch her videos, and again, take a look at her. I'll leave her YouTube link in the show notes so you can take a look, because it's really cool stuff. Again, it's kind of selfish because I like guitar and I like guitar players, and I just found her within the last week, and I'm like, wow, she's really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, take a look at Sophie Lloyd. She's is our winner of the week.
That's how winning is done.
Yeah, Sophie's definitely winning.
She's got she kind of looks like a little J.K. Rowling-ish.
Yeah, who she reminded me of was, I'm drawing a blank. She plays Harley Quinn.
Margot
Robbie.
Yeah,
she reminds me of her a little bit.
Fair.
Yeah.
I can see that
has
too.
that look for it.
Yep.
So let's get off of Sophie Lloyd.
What are we talking about?
Sorry, Matt and I were a little bit.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
So let's go into our topic.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to give you things that you must know before you hire a stage hypnotist. So I know, and let me preface this by saying I've done shows for high schools, colleges, casinos, bars, fairs, fundraising events.
Weddings?
Never done a wedding. I do know some of my hypnotist colleagues who do weddings.
Okay.
So there are different venues, and in a lot of different venues hire. Of course, let's start with high school, and we'll get into that.
Okay.
High school is typically a parent organization that turns over year after year because it's typically the senior class committee.
Okay. Yes.
So most of them will hopefully take information from their prior year's committee, but that doesn't always happen. So a lot of times they're just starting from scratch and they're looking for, we want a hypnotist this year for the all-night party or the grad night party. And I'm going to give you tips on what to look for. And the same thing with the college shows is that a lot of them are student organizations that hire these entertainers to come in.
Okay.
Casinos are typically, they have an entertainment manager. That's a little bit different. I think they probably know who they're looking for there because they, for example, I did a show in Dubuque. Technically, I was part of a group who was there for the week, but I did a show. So I mean, but they had like, Impractical Jokers had played there before. Typical casino stage shows.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you're going to see Van Halen there, but
Right.
But a lot of other talented people, and comedians.
You said the Impractical Joker is talented? I'm playing.
Probably not. My son loved them because he's about 18 right now, so it fell right in his wheelhouse growing up.
Sure.
Sorry. And I will. Yeah, I wouldn't say talented, but they found a shtick that worked and made it work.
My wife is a fan, as is my daughter. So
yeah.
Can I try it really quick?
Yeah. So what we're going to go into is things that when you're booking a stage hypnotist. And I know if you go back a few episodes and if you haven't listened to things that you must know before hiring a hypnotherapist, go back and listen to that. A lot of this is going to be overlap, but there are specific things that you need to know when hiring a stage hypnotist. The first is, and this goes back to that prior episode, is your stage hypnotist licensed? And we talked about the difference between licensed and certified in that last podcast. And I don't want to go rehash that because that would be it would take up most of the rest of the time here. But find out if they're licensed to practice mental health. It's okay if they're not as a stage hypnotist, but it gives you that added security that if something happens on stage, that they're equipped to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into that a little bit more as we go on. So anyway, just find out if they're licensed to practice mental health or if they're not. It's just information that you want to know, because the assumption is for a lot of parents and students and other individuals hiring a stage hypnotist that might be an assumption that, they're probably a mental health professional. Mm-hmm. Not always, but I just want to make sure you understand that's not always the case. The other thing to ask is about experience. Ask how many years your stage hypnotist has been performing. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be performing for 2 years and be really good. And if you practice for 30 years, you might be really bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's certainly possible. So here's what I would suggest. Go look at their website. The first warning sign is that they don't have a website.
Right.
I mean, especially in this day and age. I won't say the agency. I booked through one of the agencies in the area, and their website looks like it was built in 1994.
Oh, so it's all in DOS. Still.
Yes, yeah. It looks like DOS layout, and it is the most unattractive, hard to find thing. And I've said to them numerous times, I'm like, I'm one of their featured hypnotists with this agency, and I'm like, can you guys work on the website, please? And they're like, well, the owner just likes what he likes, and that's what it is. And I'm like, well, yeah, not very impressive. But anyway, your hypnotist should have a website. And what I want you to look for on that website is if that they have videos or clips of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way to see, okay, what am I getting when I hire this stage hypnotist? Right. Here's a warning sign to look out for. A lot of hypnotists, stage hypnotists, will have a sizzle reel. It's a clips of shows in, maybe a minute and a half long, just to kind of expose you to what they do. Beware of the sizzle reel that has highlights all from one show. That I see that a lot.
Yeah.
It's a 1.5 minute clip, but they're all clips of one single show.
As a wedding DJ, professional mobile disc jockey,
yeah,
I've had a few reels done, and put videos out there.
Yeah.
I subcontract through another company, so they have my video out there. I have my own website. I have my own reviews going back to 90, whatever. So yeah, you want to make sure that it's more than just one show.
And the other thing that I will tell you on this is that a lot of hypnotists will get stage footage when they're in a training or when they're in a seminar.
Okay.
I've been involved in many trainings in the past, and again, my very first training as a stage hypnotist we went to a casino and we actually performed on stage during a show at night. But it was like each of us got a skit to do.
Okay.
I'm a trial lawyer. I'm not part of your family, and I don't do skits with my mom.
So each
was
of
that
us,
your skit?
Yeah, each of the hypnotists there got a skit to do. So we did get, and I could have taken my time, put it onto a sizzle reel. Nobody knew I didn't do a whole show.
Right.
They just saw me on stage with volunteers and doing my thing. So again, check out their videos. Make sure there's a variety of different shows in different locales and different settings. Like if you look at my videos, you'll see shows from casinos, you'll see shows from high schools, from colleges, from state fairs.
Right.
So you'll see a variety. So if you're looking for somebody that's done all of these things,
don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to the outfit, because typically it's the same suit and tie for every show. So it's like, oh, it's the same show. No. Look at the crowd. Look at the background.
Yeah. Typically I try to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure I had the same jacket on for more than one show. That's for sure.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, just being honest. Nothing wasn't clean. So again, look at experience. Check out their videos. That's important. You'll get a taste of what they're doing. The one video I have on my homepage. When you go to my homepage, it says "See David Wright in Action." The first video that comes up is me. I did a show at the University of Florida about a year. Was it a year ago? Might have been a little over that, but it was a fundraiser. They do a dance-a-thon at the University of Florida. It was in their basketball arena with 2,000 to 3,000 kids on the floor in this huge stage. And if you look at the video, I had my GoPro behind me, videoing from behind, and it's me standing in front of 3,000 screaming kids. It's a fantastic video. So I mean, you can see from that video on my homepage that I've performed in front of thousands of people.
And it shows.
Yeah. And you might see other hypnotists who might have one video with 3 people on chairs in a living room.
Okay.
Really. So again, just check those out.
It's a big difference.
It is a big difference.
Experience is huge.
Yes, really absolutely. This next tip, this next thing that you must do is see if the stage hypnotist has reviews or is willing to provide contact information. The same thing with a hypnotherapist. They should have reviews on their website from companies that they've done shows for. I have reviews on my website from Quicken Loans. I have a review from Amway Corporation. I have a review from University of Florida. That was a huge show. So see what reviews they have. See who they've done shows for. And even if it's high schools, that's cool. As long as there's a good review and they've given good feedback, just look for reviews. If they don't have reviews, again, just a warning sign, something to look at. This is a big one that most people don't think about or don't ask about when they hire a stage hypnotist. And this is, what kind of material is in your show? So and this is the way you should ask it. What kind of material do you perform? And I always say to when I'm booking, I always make sure what they're looking for. For example, a high school show is always going to be PG. I'm never going to do an adult show with high schoolers.
I'm shaking my head.
Now,
no.
Here's the unfortunate thing. There are hypnotists out there who have done that. That have done adult material with high school students. And it's just,
I hang my head low.
It's
What the fuck
I know.
are you
honestly
doing?
It's creepy and it's not age appropriate and it's just not good. So make sure that you know before you book somebody what their show is like for your audience. So again, ask if it's age appropriate. Now, if you're doing a casino or a bar,
game on.
I advertise adult show, 18 and over only. So know what to expect. Don't assume that you're going to get what you should get.
Right.
So make sure you ask that ahead of time. Ask if it's age appropriate. What's the rating of the show? If it's PG for high schoolers, I always keep it PG with college kids as well. It's just too close and it's just safer that way.
You know, that's actually a very good move. Even on the college side, you want to, because the folks are very, you can't be very careful.
Yeah.
You can't say something that's going to be off color and someone's going to come and complain about it.
Oh, absolutely. And the smallest thing could really cause a big problem. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in the past with a lot of them.
You have a brain like a chicken.
Yeah, some of them do.
I'll share a story with you after the fact. I can't really say it here.
Okay.
Oh, I probably could. Because every once in a while, as a performer, you say something that is not right, but then you realize it after the fact. So
Right.
I was DJing a daddy-daughter dance, and they wanted to do a game, and it was a hula hoop. And the little ladies came up and they were hula hooping forever.
Yeah.
Then it was the dad's turn.
Oh boy.
And, my faux pas says, all right, fellas, whoever can keep it up the longest. And then I realized what I said.
No, do not listen to that man.
That's awesome. But again, that's a faux pas. And I think people would be forgiving of that. Right. It's not an intentional part of your.
No, it wasn't.
Yes. So when we're talking about material, age appropriate, what's the rating of your show? Make sure you find that out. And these are things that go way back. Stage hypnosis has been around for, 40, 50 years. And a lot of things have evolved just as society has evolved over the years. You can't do things now that you could have done even 10 or 20 years ago. So, of course, there are traditional skits that everybody does that...
I'm a trial. I'm not part of your family. I don't do skits with my mom.
There are traditional skits that have kind of just made their way through the hypnosis ranks through the years. And most hypnotists use material that's out there. I know there's really no copyright or I know a lot of hypnotists get really pissed off when their material is stolen.
Right.
It's not so clear cut as like a comedian when it's actual material. These are just skits. So it's a gray area, but we won't get into that. That might be another episode.
Fair.
So a lot of hypnotists in the past have used a skit called Hypno Gun, where they'll load up the Hypno Gun and shoot people to sleep.
Right.
That's just, and I still see people using this skit, and it's just not appropriate right now.
For this day, right now, yeah.
It's just not a good idea because it's I'm not going to say it promotes violence, but it's a very violent image and it's very disturbing, especially for somebody who's had any experience with any kind of gun violence.
In any setting right now,
Right, absolutely. So the Hypno Gun is never a good idea. There's also one where typically people will, and I use a variation of this because I think I told you when we were talking about, I forgot we were talking about routines in the past, and I do one where I have somebody that's an alien from another planet and speaks that language. Now,
and you make sure that it's the male.
Yeah, usually the male do the dog language.
Yeah,
because it's just sensitive to. I don't want a woman to do that. I just find it more sensitive, and the guys are they're okay. But there's one that's been around there forever. Because alien is pretty nondescript. There are no real aliens from another planet. You're not going to offend an alien from Mars.
Not that we know of.
But there's one that's still done. I see it that you hypnotize somebody and say they only know Chinese. And the problem with that is people will go ching chang tong.
Oh, right.
And it's disrespectful.
Very.
It's just not, it's not a good thing.
That's what their perception of that.
Yes. The perception of what they sound like. And that's not right. And people still use that skit. There's a lot of therapists. I'm on the hypnotherapist side. We're on the hypnotist stage show side. A lot of hypnotists on stage will do a skit where they will say to the volunteers, when you open your eyes, you're going to realize I'm the greatest looking human being you've ever seen. And you're going to want to dance with me. And they'll bring them up one by one and they'll do this dance, slow dance. And to me, that's just, I just think it's a bit beyond boundaries.
That's not self-serving too.
Yes. And that's, and I'm going to get right to that. That leads me into exactly what Matt's saying. Does the hypnotist make the show about them? Because if the show is about them, it's not about your volunteers and you guys having a good time.
Right.
They want the attention. Now, again, I'm a performer. I like being in front of people. I like making people laugh. But the show is not about me. It's about the volunteers and them having a good time and having fun. So again, be aware of that. And you can ask these questions. Now, I'm going to list all of these in the show notes. So you can go through, say, hey, do you do a dance with a hypnotist thing in your show? And if they say, oh, yeah, yes. I do that every time. Yeah. Just know it. Just know that if you're comfortable with that, that's okay. But especially with high school and college age kids, that's I've never done that skit. I will never do it. And a lot of people still do it. So material, that was the last one. The next thing that you need to know is, does your hypnotist practice safety? And when I say safety, and I'm not going to go too far into this because I know we have a few minutes left, but stage hypnosis has been kind of a free-for-all. There was no regulation. Again, there is no regulation on it. But if you see a hypnotist with videos where people are falling out of chairs all over the place, or they have everybody laid out on the floor, I don't work that way. In fact, if somebody's in my show and they fall out of their chair, I'll put them back and I'll just off mic, I'll say to them in their ear, you have to stay in the chair. If you fall out again, I'm sending you back.
What is the CYA thing that you do at the very beginning of your show if you are taking XYZ pills?
Yeah, medications of any type, things like that.
That's the safety piece.
That's a safety piece as well. But again, I see a lot of hypnotists who will, what they do is what we call a standing induction, where somebody's standing and they'll do a jerk with their arm and they'll let them fall to the floor. And it's just not safe to me. Somebody's, and I know I've seen it happen in the past. Somebody break an arm or a finger, or it's so. Again, see if your hypnotist practices safety, and you'll see. I'm not saying that you can't find in my videos anybody on the floor, but it's rare because again, I give that suggestion that you will not come out of your seats. You have an imaginary seatbelt on that leaves you there the whole time.
Nice.
So ask about safety, and as we get close to ending here, price. This is a big one. Again, you're an organization. You want to get the best deal you can. And I'm going to give you some typical fees that you can expect to pay for a good show. Here's what's happened in the past. I've quoted somebody at high school a show. They come back to me a week later and say, oh no, we got another person that's doing it for $300. If you're paying $300 for somebody, be careful. This is a thing. This is an event. This is a performance that you get what you pay for.
Right.
And I've seen it. I've been doing it a long time. And I know your typical fees for a high school show are probably going to be between $1,200 to $1,500. That's a typical fee.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't done it for less. I've done deals with, like, a lot of times if I have two high schools in one night, I'll split them a deal and do like $800 or $900 each because I'm doing two shows back to back and it's one night. Colleges are about the same thing. Sometimes, like that big show at University of Florida was a $3,000 show. Casinos are probably typical of around the same price. Now, there are nationally known hypnotists out there. Again, a good friend of mine who will get $10,000 for a show because he's been on James Corden. He's been on the Today Show. He demands more money because he's more well known. He's more well known. Yeah. But just be careful if you're paying a couple $100. I can almost guarantee it's not going to work out well for you.
Right. Hobby hypnos.
Yes, exactly. So we are close to closing out here. And just remember, everyone who's listening, I'll have all of this whole list in my show notes. You can find it there. You can ask all of these questions. And if you have any questions regarding hiring somebody, you can get a hold of me through social media, and I will answer your questions. So again, get my free hypnosis guide. That link will be there as well. And I don't have a subject for next episode, but we will get that soon.
It's going to be a surprise.
It is. It's going to be a surprise, but it will be something cool. So until then, everyone, change your thinking, change your life, laugh hard, run fast, be kind. I will see you soon.